Okay, like I was saying in the short, I might as well go over this again, but we've got, this is upside down right now. We've got the 3-phase coming out of it that goes to the motor. Then we have the coolant in and out ports. And then on the bottom, we have the high voltage DC lugs here. The positive and negative from the PDU went in here. Not the PDU, the PDM. All right, let's get to it here. Take this apart, see what we have to work with. I was kind of amazed at how easy all the bolts came out. And the nice thing about electric vehicles is there's no grease. Almost no grease. Alright, I'm going to need something to pry on that with, I guess. Man, I tell you, my allergies are crazy this morning. Ta-da! Inside of the cover. All right, very interesting. Bring it in. Hopefully this thing will focus on what we're doing here. Here's the main control board. And then we've got the capacitors under here. We've got the gate driver boards. And then underneath, part of the IGBTs. There's quite some IGBTs there. Let me see if I can get some numbers off of them. Alright guys, so here's the inverter all taken apart. What we've got here, there's 3 IGBT modules underneath here. This is quite a bit different than I had envisioned it, but each one of these modules, and these are custom modules, there's no part number or anything like that. There's some numbers, but it's a custom part. I don't know who makes it, or I haven't been able to find anything that even looks similar. But basically, you've got each one of these modules underneath here is a half bridge IGBT. And then on top, you've got the driver circuit for each half IGBT. So it just repeats 6 times here. And then there's some other support stuff going on over here. This is the brains of the operation. And I think, seeing how this thing's laid out, I think the only thing that makes any sense if we go ahead with this idea is to swap out the controller board for the open inverter control hardware. That way all we have to do is unplug the plugs here and plug in the open inverter stuff, because it's all set up. They've got the bolt holes all done up, and the only thing is you have to scavenge the connector off of there. If you end up using the connector, you got to desolder the connector from this board and solder it onto the open inverter board. But other than that, I think that's all you need to do. There is some software that they've come up with. It's a few years old, nobody's done anything with it, but it basically turns the open inverter hardware and software into a power inverter. So we might try playing around with that. I'm not sure yet. I've got a couple other ideas. I sure would like to use this because it's got the water cool plate here. Another option is I buy some other IGBTs and we just start fresh with just common off-the-shelf IGBTs. But I don't really want to take this stuff off of this plate. It would be a real pain because there's 2 rows of 16-pin headers here on each one of the IGBTs. And those would have to be desoldered and not mess up the circuit board in order to get the circuit board off of the IGBTs, and then you can unscrew the IGBTs. So that's where we are right now. Well, I hope you enjoyed that peek into the Nissan Leaf Inverter. Get this thing back together somewhat, because if we end up using open inverter hardware, it's going to have to all be back together again. Alright guys, that's about it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, I'll catch you all later.